There are currently over 120 million people living in Japan. Since the coronavirus outbreak, more and more people in Japan have been wearing face masks. These are often basic surgical face masks, and Japan has been using them for years, especially during cold and flu seasons, and even during hay fever season. There are essentially two reasons for people in Japan to wear face masks with regards to health. Firstly, some people wear them to protect other people. Maybe they themselves are ill, have a cough, etc., and wearing the face mask means they aren't spreading their illness to other people, or at least not so easily. Secondly, many people wear face masks to protect themselves from other people's illnesses. This is because they believe that if their mouth and nose are covered, then they aren't able to get someone else's cold or flu. Of course, this second reason isn't really accurate. Standard face masks don't and can't prevent infection, and actually there is evidence to suggest that wearing masks increases the chance of infection. This is because of a number of reasons. A very basic one being that these are generic face masks and do not fit people's faces exactly, so there are gaps between the mask edge and the skin. In fact, according to infection prevention specialist Eli Perencevich, a professor of medicine and epidemiology at the University of Iowa's College of Medicine, there is no evidence that wearing masks on healthy people will protect them. They wear them incorrectly and they can increase the risk of infection because they're touching their face more often. Not only is there a gap between the mask and the face, but infections don't only have to enter through your nose and mouth. They can enter through your eyes and your ears too. And what do people do more often when they are wearing masks? They touch their face. A lot more. Adjusting the mask, looping it around their ears, pulling it up near their eyes. Also, many people wear masks incorrectly in general. It is not uncommon in Japan to see people wearing masks over their mouth, but not their nose. To see people lifting their masks up or pulling them down in order to eat or drink, or, and by far the most interesting, lifting their mask up or pulling it down in order to sneeze or cough, sometimes into the air, sometimes into their hands. This renders the act of wearing a mask completely pointless. Since the coronavirus outbreak, there have been shortages of face masks in supermarket and drugstores across Japan. People are panicking and stockpiling masks because they are worried they will need more than usual. People are getting creative and making their own masks, as we can see here. There was even an incident in a hospital in Kobe where someone stole over 6,000 face masks. However, what is not being talked about is the impact disposable masks have on the environment. Japan is known for being a clean and tidy country. However, since the outbreak, it is not uncommon to see disposable masks along rivers, paths, and streets. But why are people throwing them away outside and not disposing of them normally and correctly? One reason is because people are worried about bringing any infection back into their homes. While this point is somewhat understandable, if the mask has become infected at any point throughout the day, the wearer has also undoubtedly become infected anyway. This then leads to potentially infected face masks littering the country, and someone still has to clean them up. In fact, one such company in Tokyo has suspended its litter picking operations because it says that, even with using gloves and tongs, the risk of infection is still too great. So, if a litter picking company is worried about its staff becoming infected from disposed face masks, how would the average person cope with safely removing and disposing of a face mask without contaminating other things around them? The average person is not using gloves to remove their face masks, and probably many do not wash their hands each and every time they touch or remove their mask. Regardless of whether masks are being disposed of correctly, with the sheer amount of people in Japan and the disposability of the masks, there is some cause for concern regarding the environmental impact. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are currently over 120 million people living in Japan. Even if 20 million or so don't or can't wear masks, there are still 100 million masks being worn and thrown away every single day. A single basic face mask can weigh as little as 10 grams, although some higher quality ones weigh more. That means in a single day, Japan is sending 1,000 kilograms, 1 metric ton, of face masks to landfill or to be burned. And that's only the ones that make it to the correct bins, not those in rivers, ponds, and lakes. And that isn't taking into account the plastic packaging that they are sold in as well. So not only are face masks not great in the prevention of infection for most people, but we are damaging the environment and wasting resources for that privilege. This isn't limited to Japan. Many other Asian countries wear face masks on a regular basis, and with the outbreak of coronavirus recently, many other people from other countries outside of Asia are starting to buy and stockpile face masks. Reusable face masks are an option though, so if you feel the need to wear a face mask or have been told to do so by your doctor, then please consider buying and using a reusable one. Some good news has emerged from Japan as a result of the coronavirus though. That is, cases of flu are down this year compared to last. Of course, this is not because of face masks, but because more people are washing their hands and doing so more thoroughly and frequently than usual. This is the recommended way to prevent and contain the spread of both coronavirus and flu.